That's One Farmers, episode 24.
High five. Yeah. At the start of the week we released episode 23 where we checked on our worm bins because they seemed very damp. So we added some dry worm snugs. There'll be a link in below how to make a worm snug. And we've got a new toy to play with.
It's not actually a toy, it's just a glue.
It's a 4K GoPro camera with a handle, so we're hoping to get some awesome shots of this. We have a blue tits nesting on the side of this shed, so we'll show you that as well. And then we're just going to run through the bins. We're also going to give tidy up behind us. We were given some storage crates that we're going to reuse as a storage shelf. So yeah, we've got quite a lot to get through today, so bear with us.
Some shout outs to Jonathan and Sarah.
To Dan, Spuds and Antrim for all your support, it's been awesome. To Tony and Teresa Marie, your support's still fantastic. Teresa, you are going to get a wormery. Your dad's going to give in eventually. He is going to get one.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
A big shout out to Mummy,
who keeps us all in check and yeah, just make sure that we're having an awesome time. So thanks, Mummy, you're awesome.
Yeah, you are. Here's a pretend hug.
Ah, she'll love that. Hey Henry. Hello.
He just stepped down. He doesn't sit in. He just...
This is us shooting with the 4K GoPro camera. As you can see, it's got a fisheye lens, so everything will be slightly elongated. There's Harry there. So that's our worm shed, the smaller worm shed, and we're going to have a quick tidy up and we're going to sweep the floor because it's very messy down on the floor, as you can see. So we're going to tidy that up a wee bit, so bear with me. Oliver.
Yes?
Right guys, what we're going to do is we're going to lift them worm bins out one by one and lay them on the grass.
Okay.
Alright?
Can you help me? Yes.
So that worm there is 3 grams. As you can see, it's huge. 4, 5. It's gone up to 5 grams in for one worm. Thumbs up to that one. 5 grams for one worm. This is worm bin number 1, and there's a baby worm over in this far corner over here, which I'm just going to gently caress back in. So as we said, the dry worm snugs were put in, and as you can see, it's soaked up quite a lot of that moisture already, so that worked well. Overall the appearance in the worm bin there looks much drier than it was. Good signs of nice big worm cocoon there, and if you look carefully, there are worms tucked away inside.
On the cocoon on the side.
Yeah. Can you pull it off and put it in the tub, please, Harry?
Yep.
Brilliant. Right, so we'll just take some cocoons out of this one, top it up with food, and then put it back in the wormery, in the worm farm. This is worm bin number 9 that we added the baby corn to. Baby corn's hardly been eaten at all. Just have a rummage around there, Harry, and see if there's any signs of worms munching away at it. Nope. There are worms in here, they're just not eating it. So there's the worms down there, but they're just not eating it.
Maybe they don't like it.
Maybe. Worms in this bin that Harry's just pulled out.
3 big worms.
3 big worms. Awesome. Number 6, we added some more dry matter. This bin was just very, very waterlogged and very soaking. I'm not quite sure what's happened to the peanut there, the ground up peanuts. With all the other bins it has been eaten, but with this one it just seems to have lingered. The carrot in this one has just gone to a soppy mess. With the other ones it's almost gone now. But the worms are still lively enough and still crawling around. The big worm there. But yeah, each one of our bins is acting differently to the next, so it just goes to show that there's inconsistency. If you have one worm bin is set up exactly the same as the other, it may be different. But no, the worms are in there and the castings underneath are looking okay, just slightly damp. We put worm snugs in each corner just to try and soak up excess water. These went in dry, so the fact that they're wet is a good sign that it is working. So if you do have a an over wet worm bin, then we suggest you make worm snugs, and it just soaks up any excess paper there and the excess moisture. Well, it works for us anyway. But yeah, this bin just seems to be a bit of a waterlogged mess. But we added some dry paper and we'll go from there and we'll just see how that one pans out. Bin is one of our experimental bins that we just threw everything in just to see what would happen, and peeling back the lid you can actually see worms in there. This one's very waterlogged, but it's more of a case of just to see what does happen. You can see on the banana leaf there that it's very wet, and the carrot there is very gloopy. This one we've just kept a shredded paper rather than the cardboard that we use, but the paper doesn't break down. So with the cardboard it does seem to break down, but this paper just seems to form like a big soggy mat, and then the worms don't seem to eat it at all. So we're going to move away from this shredded paper and just use the cardboard, where it's readily available to us, and when you put it through the blender it chops it up fine, as you've seen in previous videos. So yeah, so that's the end of the chopped up paper for us, I'm afraid, because it just doesn't break down as much as we thought we would. This was the last worm bin that was very damp. We added a lot of cardboard and paper pulp to this one, and it seems to have brought it around. We put this lump of broccoli in just to see what happens, and all it seems to happen is growing. So there we go. So that's it. Yeah, that bin's looking well now. Worms are very lively in there, so we were happy with this bin. So this is our hatchery. As you can see, there's thousands of cocoons. Everywhere you look there's cocoons. This red one here hasn't too far away until it hatches out, but we estimate that there's about 2,000 cocoons in this bin now. Look, if you rub the surface there's just more cocoons underneath it. Loads of cocoons. Awesome. So as a quick update with the worms there, some of the eagle-eyed viewers would have noticed that the shed's completely changed round. We've been spending the past hour, believe it or not, I know the video is only about 8 minutes long, but we spent the past hour rearranging everything, which I'll go in detail in a wee second. So I'll try and show this in better detail, but originally we had the 9 worm bins in the greenhouse to the right hand side, now it's on the left hand side. So now the bins run from 1 to all the way to 14, and then you've got 15, 16, 17 which isn't labelled yet. We're not quite sure what happened to bin 13, but we did label it, but it seems to have vanished. So there's now 17 bins here that, apart from the last 2 over here, they all have a minimum of ½ kilo, but some have 1.5 kilos in. So the next video we'll hopefully have sorted them out more, so they've about a minimum of 1.5 kilos in each. Oliver expertly hoovered the floor for us, and then we've got some more storage space down the side. This is that frame the frame thing we talked about at the start. It was an old storage unit that we've just repurposed for our own use. I pan all the way out here and you should get a better shot. So there you go, that's the boys worm shed with 17 worm bins in it, and it's better organised than it was before.
Thank you for our subscribers and support. We love it.
So that's it, a wrap for today. If you do like our videos, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you do want to see more videos, then click up here, and if you do want to subscribe, click up here, and don't forget to hit the little bell button down below. Until next time, thanks very much, bye.
Bye bye.